At 10:45, a bit of rain overnight, a bit of dampness on the pitch. Drying wind here. The wind expected to remain 12 to 15 miles an hour throughout the course of the afternoon. Cloud cover. Cloud is expected to last most of the day as well, but the temperature are expected to rise, getting up to about 18 or 19 degrees. We'll grab the thoughts of the skippers in a moment. They're just having the final attack. This wind, bit of dampness in the air, cloud cover, temperatures expected to rise. I think this pitch is going to be plenty for the bowlers first off, and that will suit England, but we'll get the thoughts of the skipper as he comes over. All smiles here as I'm joined by Jason Cunt. Jason, pretty good toss to win, I think.
Well, the way I look at it is Peter lost the toss, but yes, it's a good toss for us, and we're going to have a bowl.
Yeah, super stuff. I was just mentioning to the viewers while you were talking to Peter and getting your final instructions from the umpires. Bit of cloud cover here today. I don't think that cloud is going to dissipate much. The temperatures are expected to rise, but a bit of dampness in the pitch, and very green. Should full smile on your face. I'm going to ask the age-old question that every pundit and commentator asks. If you'd won the toss, what would you have done?
Well, honestly, I would have bowled. Simply on the basis for our preparation, we've had 2 games where we'd batted first, so I thought it would be good timing to have a game where we batted second, and tried to restrict the two play together, and both are very capable bats, so we're not losing anything with one not keeping on a day and playing as a batter. As for the other ones, you know, you mentioned Graham Pavey coming in and Bill Blair as vice captain. Graham would like to be like it to be heard that he's perhaps deputy vice captain, self-appointed to some extent, but that's not quite true.
You heard from Peter Judd. I think he would have done the same thing himself. You've had the teams out to you, changes for both sides, but expecting a really competitive game here. Play due to start, there's no further rain, bang on 11:30, so join us later on for this live stream and ball by ball coverage from Cheadle Hulme.
Number 3, Graham Pagey. Number 4, Doug Murphy. Number 5, Darren Smith. Number 6, Peter Riley. Number 7 is Claude Orlando. Batting 8 is Jeff Patterson, Glenn Pearce, and then John Adamson and Stuart Ridge.
For the Grey Ashes, but there's some great players on show today, really looking to state their claim. And that's going to be very interesting to see how we start. So yes, we're not too far away from the start here at Cheadle Hulme. The picture's just being taken. Nice team photo there with the Lions caps. Nice red cap there. Great team dynamic between them all.
Yeah, and the interesting part here is going to be the footing for the bowlers, Owen, of the drama we had of a bit of water getting onto the pitch overnight from the tarpaulin, and the wicket that was selected for today has got some damp patches at either end, so it's going to be really interesting to see how the bowlers' footing areas survive and last. I suppose even more so if you're Australia bowling second this afternoon, as the England boys just finished their team photo there, and the umpires are out there taking their stance at the wickets, and he's rushed his way back from his fantastic pitch inspection to join us at the commentary desk here. We welcome for the first time this morning Rash Mahmood. Good morning, Rash.
Morning, Matt. Morning, Owen. Morning, everyone. Well, I think we just about covered it, boys, didn't we? Well done to Ivor, and well done to Benny, as always. We talked about it yesterday. Really looking forward to this one. Should be an absolute cracker. Typical English conditions, I think I heard you say, Matt. Yeah, you're not wrong. Big smile on Jason Court's face when he
really gives England a chance just to see how they'll get on against Australia. You know, if they are able to, as we say, they're bowl. You know, Australia batting first. If they are able to really put the pressure on early doors, you know, in terms of maybe get an early wicket,
will be Kevin Watson and the skipper himself, Jason Cornt. Kevin, very, very good bowler. We know of his capabilities and his qualities. But with this green pitch, bit of dampness, and as I said at the pitch report and when I spoke to the two skippers, and it does indeed look like Yorkshire's Kevin Watson from the pavilion end, who's going to open up for England. And I think it's the old combination, isn't it? Pete O'Reilly, it is. Radar O'Reilly and Darren Smith in the floppy hat at the non-striker's end, unless I'm mistaken.
It does look like it for sure, but it's not what we've got on art. So as Rash said, Kevin Watson is going to get us underway from the pavilion end as he charges in for the first ball of the day. See how he finds the footing, delivers it down. It's cut out there wide, well fielded by the backing up Lion there for England Lions, just to avoid the first run getting on the board.
And the fielding today by the England Lions has got to be on point. We know what the Australians like to do. They've got to be on it right from the start. No easy singles to do. They've got to be on it. And if the Australian batsmen are looking for two, you chase hard. You make sure your communication's right. If it's a relay throw, they've really got to be on point. Try and limit this very, very powerful Australian unit. But the first two balls negotiated successfully.
I was watching charges in again. He's had a little dab there, and that's the first boundary of the innings for Australia. Oh, is it single? Is it someone stopped that, did it? I can't. Oh, I see. Yeah, my bad. There's a fielder right behind Benny on camera, so I thought. Just picked up there by Phil Deakin. And quite nicely, the sun is trying its hardest just to break through here as the game has started and give us a bit of warmth. Thrown.
And there we go, the score's up there for you now. As we say, 2 for the loss of no wicket then, as we tip things off for Australia. Nice to see the likes of Deakin, Radic and others included again in the Lions setup. In from Deakin again then.
Right on point from his first 3 deliveries, Phil Deakin. Just a nervous little prod forward there from Doug Murphy. Meets the outside edge.
As per usual, we've had a few technical difficulties here today with Wi-Fi problems and that, so hopefully you're seeing the score board on your screens now to help you keep up with the game as another delivery comes down from Deakin, just prodded away by Doug Murphy there, coming from the, gosh, what end are we calling this today? The far end. It's not very imaginative when you call everything the far end, Rash.
No. Well, I'm still reeling from disgruntled viewers from Stratford last summer when you threw me under the bus, you two. What do you want to call it then, boys?
Not very anything obvious down there, is there, apart from a wooden wheel, which doesn't sound right, but far end from the pavilions, probably about right today.
Another delivery then from Kevin Watson.
Neither bowler, Rash, seeming to struggle with foot placement at the moment, which is good to see. That really was a wet, sodden ground when we turned up, so Kevin Watson and Phil Deakin over each, no falling or slipping or ground giving way underneath, which is really positive, isn't it?
It is, but right on cue. Kevin Watson just having a look. His footmarks. Some sawdust at the end of his run-up to use if he chooses, but yeah, it was quite damp. But it's been a consistent wind of about 10-12 miles an hour that's been blowing since we got here this morning. As Watson comes in again, and O'Reilly, it's a nice bit of timing. Stopped at square leg. Shimmies down the pitch for a single. One more to the total then. 3 without loss, Australia. O'Reilly, it's a nice. Stopped at square leg. For a single. One more to the total then. 3 without loss, Australia. England player, but it was Yorkshire's own Kevin Watson bowling now. A brilliant bit of fielding in the third one-day international at Tanunda. Fantastic work at point, one-handed pick-up, had one stump to aim at, and he was dead-eyed Dick. And Doug Murphy was out for 5, and that just was the lift that the England boys needed after back-to-back defeats. A wonderful game, as I was talking about the other day at Tanunda. That third one international. Australia regaining the Ashes by virtue of winning with 2 balls to go. It's been a good start by England, Matt. Kevin Watson right on point. His partner Phil Deakin, his second over, his first one, very, very tidy maiden.
Yeah, you can't argue with the run rate of 1 per over, and the bowlers, I suppose, of both sides, but especially England in these early cloud-covered conditions, will be delighted at that delivery that just popped up off the surface and gave Doug Murphy some real issues. That's this England fielding outfit with what the ball's going to do today, and hopefully trouble the Australian batsmen a lot more than we saw yesterday in that Northern 11. So yeah, really looking forward to it. The sun is absolutely beating down now. Young Owen's having to slap the sun cream on already because he's on the sunny side of our canopy, but brilliant to see. It was a bit gloomy and murky and troubles with water on pitch and all that when we turned up. The blue sky breaking through and the sunshine coming out. It's a much wanted Rash.
There's Owen, it's sun's out, guns out. Look at this.
Just needs to hire the guns from somewhere now.
I always seem to make the mistake of getting the tan line on the sun on the glasses, so I've applied the sun cream early doors today to prevent that, hopefully.
Doug Murphy just trying to paddle that one round the corner off his hip. I don't think he got anything on it. And there was some superb work by Simon Roth behind the stumps. I'm always pronouncing that wrong, Rash. Is it Roth or Ralph? Ralph. I knew I'd said it wrong. Oh, little top edge. That was a bit aerial, that. He's got it away leg side, Doug Murphy. He's come for a quick one. Those hesitated. He's caught out at the end. He's middle of the wicket. He's run out. He's gone. Absolute shocker there from Doug Murphy. He was screaming at his opening partner to go, 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 and he just stood his ground and hung Doug Murphy out to dry there a little bit, and he's not going to be very happy with that, Rash.
No. As I said, his last appearance against England, he was run out in that third one-day international at Tanunda. Well, this one, it's a complete breakdown in communication. He flicked it airily to square leg. Very good chase. Let's get things in order. Excellent bit of fielding. Very, very good throw. The miscommunication by the batsman, but the wherewithal then for Simon Routh. And we were talking about it the other day when there was a similar incident in the West Indies game where the bowler stood in front of the stumps and then impeded the fact that he could then actually remove the bails. Well, what happened that time? Phil Deakin, as you taught as a school kid, right behind the stumps. Simon Routh, easy toss to him, and bails off. England strike early.
Yeah, I think Doug will feel a bit hard done, but it seemed yesterday's game, certainly the one we watched, it seemed a bit of a tactic. They're going to run hard and aggressive all the time, this Australian side, so I think he was just expecting Pete O'Reilly to back him up there, and he didn't. And I did notice there wasn't even a sideway glance towards his direction, Peter, as he left the pitch, Doug.
Well, you've got to give credit to the fielder. Excellent chase. Sliding stop, which meant that he was on his feet very, very quickly. Absolutely pinpoint throw. And I think Doug was going to be struggling.
Yeah, really. As we said, that, as I mentioned just before the game started, England to get that early wicket, that's exactly what's happened. 5 for the loss of 1. And I was quite surprised with that, Matt, in terms of actually, I think I said it just before, just generally, you know, if an early wicket went, but I was surprised to see that from this Australian side early on.
Yeah, nothing we saw like that yesterday suggested they'll be make those sort of mistakes, but like we said all morning, it's a bit more pressure on this game, a better outfit, and like Rash has quite rightly said, great fielding. He chased it down quickly, he got the throw in hard. Phil Deakin did his job by standing behind the stumps. So just more of that, please. Great cricket all round, really. I'm sure Doug Murphy won't agree, and Pete O'Reilly's running, but these things happen. And yeah, exactly what the England Lions side wanted was an early breakthrough, and you can hear them clapping and talking to each other. Now that's really kind of got their tails up.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many times Pete O'Reilly and Doug Murphy have batted together. It's a noble opening partnership. In my time following England has been, when available, Darren Smith and Peter O'Reilly. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but the pair are reunited in the middle. There's Darren Smith on strike. Chopped straight down to Monty Douglas. Gully does the fielding. Nice bit of fielding as well, and there's no run.
Yeah, before we got the visual on Doug, you thought it was going to be Darren Smith out there, didn't you? So that's obviously what you were. And I wonder if there's any kind of tactics. We'll find out later from the Aussies why they decided to make that switch.
Well, it was the white floppy hat that did me. That's nicely tucked away by Smith. Long chase for the fielder. And they're calling for 3. Very good running in the end. Darren Smith off the mark. And just a quick mention for the umpires. The Australian umpire, Noel Ford, standing at this pavilion end. And Barry Burns at square leg. The scorers today, Dave Fisher from England, Roger Bryce from Australia.
Again, slightly straight down leg and got a little clip, did it? Or did I just get through everyone, I think? He's going for it, Darren Smith. Oh, he's gone for 4. He's made it all the way to the boundary.
Yeah, 4 leg byes that time. Kevin Watson just straying a touch. There's definitely some movement in the air, though.
And we talked about that leeway yesterday, Rash, on the leg side. Is it going to be a bit more forgiving than tomorrow, Monday's England over 60s games? Or a bit more, or are they going to be as strict as they would be on Monday for the England's over 60s game?
It's an interesting one, that, Matt, because we saw quite a few generous ones yesterday by the umpires. I think they'll be quite strict today. It's a full international. So it just concentrates your mind as a bowler if you do stray.
Yeah, good start to the summer for this Lions side. Nice wins over Scotland and the West Indies. First of 3, of course, games that they play against Australia in between the Grey Ashes series. Next up at Ooty Bridge. Oh, quite a few calls for that there, but the umpire was quick to shake his head there. That was a close one.
It keeps dropping in and out that screen, but a couple of England players really fancy that. They're having a word with the umpire after that decision. They obviously thought that was a very close one. I think it's Radic still speaking to the umpire now as he walks away. They felt that had more than a chance of being given. Once again, it's hard for us. We're down here off of the side, kind of deep backward square leg, fine leg region, fine leg really, at the pavilion end, so we don't really have the best line of sight to comment on the LBs. But the Australian umpire Noel Ford, as Rash was telling you, wasn't interested in that at all. So the over's finished. Australia 12 for 1. That calamitous run out for Doug Murphy, starting the wicket taking for England today, and the dominant figure of Phil Deakin throw one down there, but that's absolutely driven through covers by Darren Smith. I think it's going to be stopped before the boundary. No, he's made 4 runs there. Great shot by Darren Smith through covers there.
Yeah, there again shows that quality, Matt, doesn't it? Really, really top quality stuff from Darren Smith.
He'll be hoping nobody shouts bowler's name. He's about to take strike, as happened yesterday. Was not a happy chappy.
That wasn't far off shying the stumps there by Radic. Very good effort that. I think Darren Smith is a little bit slow here. And already we're seeing how much kind of more on the ball the fielding is, Owen. The throws are coming in. They've got to be really on their game here, Australia.
Yeah, really, really on it. We saw that early with that early wicket. Of course, it was a touch of confusion in the middle there, but the fielding, like you say, has got to be tip-top.
Starts his run-up. You're watching this stream wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for joining us. Do get in touch, use the chat function. Let us know your thoughts on this Australia start, how you think the game will go, and any other bits and pieces in relation to this Australia talk. Really look forward to hearing from you, and we'll endeavour to do our best to read out as many comments as we can.
Love to hear from Kylie Smith down there in Oz. Give us a message. We'll pass it on to Darren when he's come off from a fabulous innings. Hopefully, he pulls one away there. The fielder got down to that great. And actually, Smith carried his run. That wasn't far from the stumps either. He pulled a hook shot there, Darren Smith. Thought he was well past what square leg fielder. But he dived to his left, and Darren Smith thought he was well past what square leg fielder. But he dived to his left and stopped it very athletically. Darren Smith hesitated and carried his run on a bit casually, and the shy from the field on that was not far from the stumps at all. So Watson comes in, a little prodded defence from
that was just a top class cricket shot. Beautifully timed by O'Reilly. How does Watson respond? Well, better delivery that time, a bit fuller. And O'Reilly just plays it back down to Kevin Watson.
Another delivery then from Watson.
A good bit of fielding from Monty Douglas. Cricket all around that. Peter O'Reilly just angling the bat, playing it down into the ground, and Monty Douglas diving away, prevents any runs being taken. End of that Kevin Watson over. That's a wonderful 4 coming from it, and the 1 single. 7 overs gone here at Cheadle Hulme. It's a match between the England Lions and Australia. Australia have reached 22 for the loss of 1 wicket. The man out, Doug Murphy, run out for 1. Mix up with his batting partner, Peter O'Reilly, giving Phil Deakin, who was bowling at the time, a simple chance of removing the bails. Yeah, shot width from Deakin, and Darren Smith is not going to miss out on that. Crunched that through point for 4.
Yeah, there's quality really shining through now from Australia. We know what they're about. We saw them yesterday against the Northern 11. Very, very good. You know, if you're Ed Gordon Lennox watching on, they really are relishing the chance to play a fantastic side on Monday. Excited to see how the Lions get on as well. But Monday at Littleborough is when it all starts. And again, look at that for quality. Hasn't almost trickled through. Just about short of the boundary, but another cracker. Yeah, number 2 then, 28 for 1, Deakin. In again for O'Reilly.
Another very good bit of fielding by Paul Radich. That square leg, just backwards of it. Hit very, very powerfully by Darren Smith. Oh, just going back into his crease. Fuller length delivery from Deakin. Darren Smith going back in his crease. Yeah. He knows it's a dangerous thing to do to Deakin. That's a lovely shot as well. Oh, good fielding again. Kevin Watson this time. End of Phil Deakin's over then. 7 from it. 8 overs gone. Australia move on to 29 for the loss of 1 wicket. Darren Smith, 16 off 16 deliveries. And his batting partner, Peter O'Reilly, 7 off 19. Kevin Watson to continue from the pavilion end.
Watson in again. Oh, it's another mix-up, yeah. Got to be careful there, Australia.
Well, you don't often see that between these two, but I tell you what, this is a result of some very, very good England fielding there. Really on it. Walking in, trying to cut off the angles. Oh. Played out into the offside, where Mark Eames does the fielding, out in the deep. But it's a result of Australia wanting to get on with it. We know how they play. Score a lot of runs, just rotating his strike, dabbing and going and what have you, putting pressure on the fielders. But these England boys so far, they've stood up to the task. Fielding very, very well as Australia reach 30. As Kevin Watson comes in once more. Bowles just angles the bat, does O'Reilly. Pops out into the offside where Lee Self does the fielding. And there's no run.
Yeah, we're just short of almost coming up to 10 overs in, Rash, but it just really, this early start, you know, the early wicket lost by Australia and some really good fielding from England proves to be a really intriguing contest this afternoon as we just approach midday here at Cheadle Hulme Cricket Club, just outside Manchester.
For a potential run out, they were a little bit more on the ball that time. Just had a wander, clearer spectator from the screens, and spoke to Young. Can't remember his name now. Who have I spoken to for the lunchtime? Terry Becks, that's it. Terry Becks. So one of the debutants rested for today's game. Bit of a tactical move by the Aussies, so they keep their secret weapons under their sleeves for the big game Monday. But he's going to come over at drinks. Made a good point, which we hadn't thought about. Obviously the time difference. Although I've just checked and it's 9 o'clock in Brisbane, so he said I won't come over yet because everyone will be in bed. So whether they go to bed early or they're night hawks, I don't know. So he's going to come over at drinks, which will be about 9:30, 10 at night.
Well, that last delivery from Phil Deakin to Darren Smith, that's going to concentrate his mind. Absolutely spat up from a ball length delivery. And that's sharp the stumps and direct hit. Batsman had made his ground. Again, an example of the good England fielding. But that previous delivery, ball on a length. It's still slightly damp, but it absolutely reared up. Darren Smith did well to play it in the end. Brings Peter O'Reilly onto strike.
Who was that that shied the stumps? Was it Monty Douglas? I can't see everyone's field. Oh, he's in slips, Monty, is he? Catch. Oh, that was airborne for a long time. Just played it out to kind of mid-wicket. Right, sorry, my bad. So Timor Alam, yeah, shied the stumps there from a good 15 yards. It's not an easy skill to do that. He had 1.5 stumps to aim at. Hit the base of it, bob on. That's Peter O'Reilly just pushes one towards point. And yeah, those two balls we've seen pop up there, Rash. Really going to concentrate the mind of these batsmen. There's a bit of life in this pitch. There's a bit of movement out there. Giving us a really intriguing encounter. They're certainly not tearing away at the run rate we saw them start yesterday's game, are they, Rash?
No, they're not. Different conditions, of course, Matt. And we've spoken about it at length in the pre-match videos that we did. But as a batsman, it does concentrate your mind exceptionally well. when you've got a spin bowler like Phil Deacon getting a ball like that, I mean, it's a length ball. You know, it's not dug in halfway down the pitch. It's a length ball that's gone into the damp patch and just spat up. And Darren Smith, he did very, very well to control that.
But the two that have popped up have been length balls, haven't they? Which is the worry. You know, you bowl a length and it's doing a bit, which is really going to have the batsman on edge.
Yeah, and the other thing as well, Matt, just to add to that, we saw that one from Kevin Watson a couple of overs ago that hit Simon Routh in the left shoulder. That was a length delivery as well. That wasn't banged in short. That was a length delivery. So as a batsman, you're looking, well, I'm playing it on length, and I don't think it's going to get up that high. But you've got a spinner doing it at one end and a seamer doing it at the other. That's a nice shot, though. That's beautiful timing. Width from Watson on that occasion, and Darren Smith, as he did a couple of overs ago, batting at the pavilion end. He's not going to miss out. Quality that he has. 4 more to him then. He moves on to 22. Off 22 deliveries, so run a ball. And his third boundary of the innings. Just like to see Kevin Watson pitch it up a touch more. Try and induce that a bit of movement, either through the air or laterally. But you can't give width to Darren Smith.
No, but you've got to try and tempt them, haven't you, Rash? You've got to try and get them out of their defensive mode and get them playing at something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a particularly fast-paced pitch, Matt. So if you're offering width like that, quality batsmen like Darren Smith are going to put you away all day, every day. Just pitch it up a touch. Try and get him driving. You know, you never know. Might pop one in the air. So it's short again. Just allowing Smith to rock back in his heels and pop it out into the offside. And trot through for another single to him. He moves on to 23.
Yeah, Munchy on the YouTube live. We've had a few Wi-Fi problems this morning as all the club weren't able to get a hold of the club Wi-Fi, so we can only apologise about the lagging and the buffering even. We're trying our best to deal with that, and yeah, I don't know what went wrong with the covers. We were the same opinion really. I know Rash was particularly put out that the honour of having an England's Lions match was not as highly regarded as the first team tomorrow at Cheadle, but above our pay grade, I'm afraid.
Oh, you're going to be tarred and feathered.
I know. As soon as I said it, I thought, stop it.
Another delivery in from Watson. Third match in as many days for Australia, and their third match of a 16-match series over this next month or so. Really packed schedule for them. We spoke to a lot of the players at length. You know, the skipper. And as we say, we had Darren Smith on. We had Peter Judd. We had a few on yesterday, where they all said, they all really echoed that same sentiment that, you know, playing in quite a packed summer like that, it keeps you fresh, and it's different challenges as well, as we saw. Obviously played Staffordshire, the Northern 11 yesterday, and this first real flavour of playing an England side. And it's the England Lions, their first of 3 tests against the Lions. Next up for the Lions will be at Ootybridge, Rash's local parish, next Friday.
Yay! Get your sends down.
I think he said he was buying the drinks all day, so yeah, get yourself down there.
Yeah, it should be a cracker. We spoke about it yesterday, folks, but if you're in and around the Sheffield area, or the South Yorkshire area, or even further afield, Ootybridge War Memorial Cricket Club, their 150th anniversary this year, and a really prestigious fixture. The whole village is absolutely buzzing. Nice little write-up in the local paper. Friday the 4th of July, 11 AM start. Free entry. Bar will be open. And the post-match event will take place in, well, it's the best pub in the village. And there's 5, but it's the Cock Inn at Outerbridge. And we're very grateful to our wonderful landlady there, Jenny Murphy, and her daughter Dee. We're going to be sorting out the post-match meal. Okie dokie karaoke on.
Shot. Well
Brilliant.
fielded.
Brilliant.
Brilliant from Paul Radich.
We've seen many a time from this England team, though, Matt, but that is some heroic fielding, isn't it, to say the least?
Oh, if you're watching that on YouTube, that's good cricket all round. It was a fantastic shot. Off the hip, dragged around the corner, and Radich made some ground up there and dived. Dived very athletically to stop a certain boundary.
I'll just continue with my blatant advertising. Yeah, the Cock Inn at Outerbridge for the post-match meal, so do come along. Loads of raffle prizes on offer. It should be a very, very good day, and hopefully a very entertaining night. I've already tapped up Graham Pavey from the Australian side. He's not shy at coming forward. Get him on the okie dokie. So O'Reilly just plays that out. Oh, it's a good shy again for Lee South.
So we'll have some singing with Jen and Dee instead of Elton John and Kiki D, will we?
I might get Mr. Pavey to sing some Kylie and see Darren Smith's reaction.
Well, after that, I expect Carly to be jumping on that plane right now and get herself there, tell you. Yeah, let us know, Munchie. You're in the chat there. Let us know where you're listening from. We're always interested for our metrics to know where people are joining us from around the world. It's a fantastic facility that everyone's put together here to bring this cricket out there for everyone. And it's, yeah, still tenterhooks here. We've had 12 overs. Australia 40 for 1. O'Reilly on 11. Smith on 23. He just takes along, Smith, doesn't he? I thought this the other day. You think he's just nudging it and not doing a lot, and then all of a sudden he's up to 50. You know, he's popped 30, 40 runs on the board before you know it.
Yeah, he's an absolute nightmare. He's just a world-class batsman. And him and Radar, Pete O'Reilly. Radar, as it's affectionately known, they've batted together so many times. And, in recent memory for the England boys, it's the skipper. The Sheriff is Mark Campbell, my co-commentator out in Perth, Chris and Jason Cohn, ex-detective chief superintendent, you know. He's going to replace Kevin Watson from the pavilion end, but as we saw in the World Cup final in Chennai at the SRI Ramachandra Stadium in March last year, O'Reilly and Smith, century stand between them. Got Australia most of the way there. So some adjustments being made to the field. Lee South, he's moving across from his position at square leg. He's taken up a position at point, and the fielder who was at point is, well, he's now moving. Where's he going?
It's like little and large there as the Captain Corn was talking to Watson to sort out the field placements, and he's going to have a bowl, is he, Captain?
He is, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So England still with just that one wicket, which was a run out. Self-induced by the Australian batsman, much to Doug Murphy's disgust. And we'll get a good little insight on how the bowlers are feeling on the 15th over as Terry Beck from the Australian squad is going to come and join us and give us his insight at the drinks break.
Of course, Darren Smith still out there at the moment. He had the proud honour of having the Wally of the Day t-shirt on. Had the proud honour of having the Wally of the Day t-shirt on yesterday, so we'll have to see who wears that later on. Some great colours on that map, wasn't it?
I think there were a host of candidates, if my ears didn't deceive me yesterday, as Darren Smith was wearing that very, very colourful shirt. That's aggressive from O'Reilly.
Shot.
Just sat up for him. Picked the length very early, swiveled around. He did it over mid-wicket for 4. He moves on to 15 from 37 deliveries. Australia 44 for 1.
Yeah, as we see Jason caught with the ball now. Quite an imposing figure, isn't he? Very tall. Coming in again with the delivery.
Would he offer as much pace as Watson, Rash?
No, the different bowler. Just break off as he comes in again. Oh, but beats him. Yeah, genuinely beaten O'Reilly there. Good delivery to end the over from Jason Corn. Yeah, Jason's very much wicket to wicket. He does, however, just to get the ball to nip away. And again, it's his stock ball. Kevin Watson, a bit more skiddier. He has the in-swinger. But a good delivery to finish off. And apart from that, one bad delivery in the middle of the over, which sat up. The interesting thing about that, it's not really a lot of pace in this wicket. The wind still here, it's going to dry the pitch out. I don't think it's going to get any quicker, in fairness. As Phil Deakin continues from the far end. 6 overs, 1 maiden, no wicket for 18 so far. Darren Smith on strike. 23 from 26 deliveries for him. Australia rebuilding nicely after the loss of Doug Murphy. Smith just turns that into the leg side. Straight to the fielder, and there's no run.
Yeah, we just looked and we've got 76 viewers on the live stream. Big thank you for joining us. Get in touch. Let us know where you're viewing from in the world. We'd love to hear from you. We'll give you a bit of a shout out on air. We've had some great countries viewing us over the last few months. So let's keep it going on the England Over 60s YouTube channel for this first of 3 tests for the Lions against Australia. Oh, goodness. A few of those have happened today, haven't they? They've got to be careful there, Australia.
Yeah, it's a bit of a yes, no, after you, Claude. But
a bit of that yesterday. Just the added pressure, added intensity. They know they've got hard opposition in front of them.
yeah, there's a lot of factors. I mean, these two, as I said, have batted together many, many times. You know, it's almost telepathic. But, that's the 3rd occasion that there's been a squirts off the outside edge. Darren Smith, I don't think he was trying to play it in that particular direction, but goes backwards a point where Kevin Watson does the fielding, and he trots through for a single. Yeah, there's that, and it's the realisation. We talked about it yesterday about scoreboard pressure. Australia aren't going along at a bad rate, 3.25. I think, you know, at the end of the next over, if they pass the 50, they'll be relatively happy for the loss of 1 wicket. That's nicely turned off his hips by O'Reilly. Paul Radges comes in from his position in the deep to do the fielding. End of that over then. 14 gone here at Cheadle Hulme Cricket Club. Australia have moved on to 47 for the loss. End of that over then. 14 gone here at Cheadle Hulme Cricket Club. Australia have moved on to 47 for the loss of 1 wicket. Peter O'Reilly, he's not out. 16, his partner Darren Smith. 24. Still trying to work out the pitch. As I say, somewhat over. The temperature's dropped a bit. They're all factors, but that pitch is still damp. And with the wind not blowing as hard as it was, it's not. That's a good shot by O'Reilly. Just tucked into the offside. Paul Rogers again does the fielding out in the deep, keeps it to 1. So he's constantly changing, and so you're looking at that. You're looking at the scoreboard. Yeah, but it's been a good rebuild from Australia. I've got to say that.
Certainly so, and we've just had our first viewer get in touch with us to say where they're tuning in from. Big thank you to Anil Ramsaran, who's getting in touch from Guyana in South America. Big thank you for tuning in, Anil. Guyana, wow, great to think we're streaming live to South Africa from the United Kingdom. Fantastic. Thanks for tuning in. In just a moment, we'll be able to introduce our first guest of the day on the commentary table. As Australia trickle over almost to 50. 47 for 1 now. As we approach that first drinks break. And Matt, we had a talk to this gentleman, didn't we, after the game yesterday? Would you like to introduce him to the public?
Yes, we've got one of the debutants. They're keeping their secret weapons up their sleeve today. We've got Terry Becks joining us on commentary. Going to give us a little bit of insight. How are you today, Terry?
G'day guys, yeah, going well, thanks. Beautiful day here to watch a bit of cricket.
So the first drama we wanted to ask you about was the wet wicket, and being a bowler yourself, how did you feel the ground underfoot was when you were out there?
I thought that we would have possibly batted anyway. I don't think it was too bad. It might have been a bit awkward for the bowlers at this end, but I don't think they've had too much trouble with it. But yeah, it was beautiful ground out here, outfield.
And how 140 odd run win again, two on the bounce. Did we have a few celebratory pints, or was it straight back for a massage and an early night?
We stayed and had tea at the club rooms there yesterday and had a couple of pints there, and then a quick team meeting back home, but then all pretty well behaved.
And did you enjoy Grappenhall? Did you enjoy the cricket ground and the day you had yesterday?
Yeah, enjoyed a lot going all these different grounds and having a look around. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Terry, as we just head towards that first drinks break, 48 for 1 now today at Cheadle Hulme. What have you made of it so far? You know, apart from that early wicket loss, obviously Dud Murphy, what have you made of Peter O'Reilly and Darren Smith out there?
The guys bowled pretty well, or particularly early, and they didn't give them much, so it was tough going. And so O'Reilly, he's been hanging in there, but Smith, he's been scoring. He sort of just picked up a little bit, so it's like one of those things, just get started and sort of build an innings. So only 1 down, just an unfortunate run out. So I guess we're sort of well placed now to keep building on that.
Yeah, brilliant. You know, and as we head ever closer to that first of the internationals in the grey ashes, this test today, Terry, just, you know, it's a Lions side with some players that are really fighting their way to try and get into that first 11. You know, what have you made of it so far in terms of, you know, it's a tougher test today, but you wouldn't expect nothing less from England.
Oh, for sure. Obviously that they've, yeah, as you said, guys are trying to play for their spot in the main team. So yeah, so there's going to be a lot more depth here than what we've had the last 2 games. Like Paul just picked the ball up from the boundary here. pretty good run out earlier on too. So the fielding has been pretty good, and no doubt when they get a chance to bat later.
Have you bowled in
Surrey Championship League in '91. So yeah, guys, still got a lot of friends down around that way. So I caught up with them before we come and joined the tour. So really enjoyed it. You know, it's great. You know, playing these different grounds and having a look around, and you know, nothing like this back home.
No. Who did you play for in the Surrey League?
They were called Send, and Send played on it was a private property, so like a homestead, and it was his own private cricket ground. And then whoever change of ownership, whatever. So then the next owner didn't want the cricket to be played there. The ground's still there. So then Send merged with Horsley. Our last tour match of this tour is against the Surrey over 60 side, and it's at Send Horsley. So it's at, I guess, my old club, but it's not at the ground I used to play at. So
You'll be looking forward to that one then. Do you know what date it is, just to let the listeners know?
I'm thinking the 23rd of July.
Thrown you under the bus, haven't I? So
Yeah.
So you're used to English bowling conditions. We said the cloud cover, the swing, the seam is all something you've experienced before. So you must be looking forward to getting out and having a bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was good.
But it's going to be a tough series, but it's going to be very competitive as well. What are you looking forward to come Monday?
Well, I don't really know anything about the England team, so I can't really make any comment on them. I watched little bits and pieces of the West Indies series, but not a lot of it. So, yeah, as you mentioned, it's going to be pretty competitive, and probably it's going to go all the way to the end. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be any easy runs or wickets, or it's going to be fought right out.
So the players are back out in the middle now. They've had their drinks break. Australia 48 for 1. Just that one run out for Doug Murphy. We're in the 16th over. It's young Deakin bowling at the far end towards the pavilion with Darren Smith on strike. Just turns it off his hip. Out there to the leg side. I don't suppose you spoke to Doug since the run out, have you? Probably not happy, Bunny. Or sadly not with us anymore. Was the groundsman at Guildford for many years. I can't remember the name of the brother played for Guildford and other teams around there.
So what years would that have been? Because
yeah.
I lived in Guildford.
Oh, did you?
And spent a fair bit of time there. I had a few guys from my side that played for Surrey, and so that was the Surrey second round.
Yeah,
so Adam, Ben Hollyoak and Ian Ward.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to...
So yeah, we knew that was probably just for your time, because I think they were there for 25 years, so they got there about 1905. But yeah, I had a barbecue with the Hollyoak brothers there once when the in-laws were there, and it's actually been bought by Surrey, the ground now. They own it. They bought it off the council, and it's their, I think, second team in the ladies. Do a lot of the ladies team play there a lot now.
Yeah, and I think the clubroom's they had a major renovation.
Yeah,
there.
yeah, nice big modern shiny clubhouse. Yeah.
And so my captain, or our captain from Send in '91, he's involved with the Surrey over 60s. He's on the committee or something like that. So he was involved with organising that game on the 23rd. And so I think I've got a few of my old mates that are going to come along to that game to have a look.
So do you have to walk up to Pete and go, look, mate, you know, pencilers in for that game. I got a few scores to settle.
Great message from Neil Bridgen, watching from Stevenage. His brother Keith is the Aussie manager. Fantastic. Thanks for that, Neil.
Doing a very good job too, Keith.
To do any sightseeing or anything? Focused and getting the job done.
Well, in Japan, so we're in there for about 2.5 weeks, and then went to Prague for about a week and a half, and then I got to England maybe about 10 days ago. So I just caught up with my friends down around Surrey and in London, and actually second day we had a training session at Lord's, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Oh, and the net's there, and so my son's still with me, so got to have a bowl at him and have a hit there, so just in the training net. So so I had a bit of a look around Surrey and stayed at Marlborough College and had a look around Marlborough. So beautiful spots there.
Yeah, Marlborough's a cracking college there, just as the 50 partnership for O'Reilly and Smith has come up, so they're plugging away. No more wickets fallen, so finding it hard, England, to break through here. Is that the usual for these two when they're batting, Terry?
I haven't seen the two of these bat together much. Radar
to break through here. Is that the usual for these two when they're batting, Terry?
Yeah, and so I haven't played in the Nationals yet. So so Bill Blair, our vice captain. So I've played under Bill in a national carnival in the 50s, and I've played against Doug a couple of times, and in a few interstate games and a national carnival in New Zealand. But apart from that, I didn't know any of the other guys. So yeah, the first day when I was batting, I had to ask the umpire what the other batsman's name was, so I could try and encourage him and get involved in the game.
Sounds like our commentary on Wednesday. I didn't know anyone else what was going on. So you're so whereabouts in Australia from? Where's your home club? Where's your home state?
So from Victoria, 3 hours west of Melbourne. So people might know of the Great Ocean Road. So Warrnambool's my town. Dennington Cricket Club is my club. So yeah, it's a beautiful spot on the coast. Got a bit of a problem over there at the moment. We've got a bit of a drought on. So normally it's pretty wet over there, but at the moment it's not good for the farmers. It's pretty dry.
Plenty of the west stuff you can have, don't worry about that. We'll sell you some of ours if we could. Bit of a swing and a miss there, but Pete O'Reilly just going down the leg. I think that's the first Aussie player to be sat with us when there was a wicket, so you're going to be cursed for the rest of the tour. Be sat here in the commentary box. So yeah, great stuff. Any last words you want to say? And hellos back home where anyone's listening.
Yeah, well, I changed my seat before too when Doug got run out. So the two openers aren't going to be very happy with me at all, really. Yeah, no. Hopefully, there's a few back home listening and enjoy the following the cricket.
Brilliant. That's Terry Beck's joining us there. And you thank him for his time and his insight, and I'm sure he'll join us again later in the tour. And we look forward to seeing you play on Monday, hopefully, Terry.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Catch up with you.
Thank you very much there. Terry Betts there. One of the new debutants.
Shout out, and obviously if you're down in Surrey, you remember Terry playing for you back in '91. Give us a mention and let us know you're listening. But yeah, no, lovely guy. I mean, we weren't there more than 5 minutes. He offered to buy us a pint, so it's better than the England team. We haven't offered us a pint in about eight games now. I'm joking. But he's and I think the integration of the Aussie team shows out with that, because I was amazed there when he said he didn't know any of the guys. He's only just met them coming out on this tour. This is his debut tour, hopefully making his debut Monday when they do play England. But stood on the veranda there, it looked like he'd been mates with all the rest of the players for years.
Yeah, too right, Matt. So, you know, just that second wicket loss then. Peter O'Reilly up next for Australia is Graham Pavey. Alongside, of course, Smith, who's 29 balls now. 29 runs, sorry, off 46. Ticking away.
Yeah, it's a pity that really, wasn't it? Because they just nudged up the 50 partnership. Just as we were asking Terry about them kind of bedding in and making a bit of a big score together, they went and got the LBW. But it did look like a very decent ball. I think Deacon chucked it down, didn't he? And it was a very good delivery. That was O'Reilly was just top edge out there. Smith, it's just totally done him there. Bit of movement, I think. He thought he was going on a leg, and it's jagged back. He's got a top edge as he tried to turn it off his hip. It hasn't stayed in the air very long, luckily for the Aussie batsman. Just produces a dot ball, and then Smith just guides that one. He's got to run hard here. It's very good field again by England. Well picked up by the captain, Can't. But Smith was...
Field Deakin trapping, Peter O'Reilly, LBW. And just an instance in that Jason Corns over,